Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here and we're back at Six Flags Magic Mountain for another Wonder Woman Flight of Courage construction update. Oh my gosh, so much has changed. Let's go. Tons of new updates on this brand new roller coaster are just around the corner. I mean, look at this right here. The first view of the coaster in person in quite a long time for me personally is the entirety of the turnaround section supports coming to completion. Like, that is an insane thought to think about. This is going to be a main centerpiece in front of the actual ride entrance, it would definitely seem, as it takes over that entire skyline, even blocking view back to Batman quite a bit, which, I'll be honest, I've seen plenty of renderings of this ride. I've seen lots of footage of the sister coaster of this ride, Jersey Devil Coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure, but I underestimated how massive this ride actually is. It is so much taller than I would have ever thought, at least in my mind, especially this turnaround section. It really just takes over the entirety of that skyline over there. You can also see pretty much all of the supports are put in currently for everything in that area, including the station, which also has track. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but that turning portion into the final brake run also has all of its supports up, and it definitely looks like that turn is going to be just beyond vertical, so like 95 degrees, which is going to be fantastic if you ask me. In addition to that, we can take a look at, of course, what used to be the Wonder Woman ride at the park, now being renamed and rethemed to Teen Titans Turbo Spin. And I think this is a really cool nod, of course, to the original restaurant, Teen Titans Tower Pizza, that is no longer in the area. But I think the paint job is going to look great. The little pieces of artwork all around are going to look very clean. And of course, since we're talking about that area and the revamps that are happening, I should mention that there has been an official announcement for a replacement sign to DC Universe. This is actually very similar to some of the DC Universe signs we've seen in the past at other Six Flags parks. And in addition to that, I should note that the main walls have completely encompassed that entire plaza area, which means they're realistically, at least from what we could guess, repaving a lot of that area to make sure it's looking as clean and new as possible, which I'm very excited about. I will say I'm a little nervous to see that there's not many trees or shade, but hopefully there's at least a good bunch in the new DC universe, just to make sure on those ridiculously hot Magic Mountain summer days that no one is getting too ridiculously hot. As we start to turn the corner and go through the boardwalk section of the park, you can really see how tall those supports tower above the entirety of that area. But a cool little viewpoint you can see right here next to the Johnny Rockets, you can literally see that first diving Raven turn, as well as the massive airtime hill poking out above the rooftops and the tree line, which is just a little taste of what's to come. As we make it to the tidal wave plot, you can see a lot of change in the track pieces and support structure that is up in this area. This is kind of the middle portion of the entire ride, and you can see the biggest changes here are the fact that that lift is now officially vertical and pointing upwards. You can also see the beginning of the zero-G stall, which is going to lead into that turnaround section, as well as the ending of the zero-G roll, and of course the bottom of the drop, and even, no joke, a lot of those airtime hills leading to the final breaks. This is insane how much progress just in the past couple of weeks has occurred. As we make our way to Metropolis, you can see that that entire side of track work and support work is realistically done. I mean, of course, there are little things they will have to end up doing, like tightening down all the bolts to all the footers eventually down the line once everything is built together. But this airtime hill, and especially the down Raven turn, really just takes over the entire sight line in this area of the park. It is really immaculate and just breathtaking to look at. I also think I should definitely mention the insane hand and head chopper that will come with this turnaround at the very end of this portion of track, which is just going to be crazy to think about. I mean, just being here in person again, after not seeing it in person since it wasn't even vertical, is just amazing. Huge shout out to the Amuse Rides team that's been building this amazing contraption as we start to head and get a look at that mid-course brake run, which, if you're curious, it actually is slanted downwards just a little bit. And a great view of some of those airtime hills leading to the finale and the bottom of that first drop, with some of the drop supports finally going vertical in the past couple of days. So hopefully we will see this thing topped off in maybe a good 2 or 3 weeks time, which would just be incredible. As we made our way to the Riddler's Revenge exit queue, I just wanted to make sure to mention this. It looks like they're moving the fence line back quite a ways, so we might see a little bit of a change in the route of the Riddler's Revenge exit in the near future. And if they're changing the exit, would that mean they're also changing the entrance? I think that definitely could be possible soon, but of course we'll just have to keep an eye on it while things are still happening all around the construction site. I also wanted to mention, though, when we were back here, we could spot just barely all the way far away next to the station the fact that the transfer tracks have started to go up, which is really exciting. And I gotta say, this view is going to be one of the best in the park, just of all the rides interacting with each other. The kinetic energy is not going to stop at Magic Mountain anytime soon.
My oh my, there is so much construction happening that literally something changes every single day. And that's why you should follow my great friend, the Ambassador ERT on Instagram.
Hey, what's up, Drew?
How you doing? Been a long time.
Yes, I'm here every day, day 25 today. But it's awesome. It's fun to come every single day and watch the little bit of progress. I know it might seem like overkill, but really, the last 3 days, this is going up. But when was the last time you were here seeing stuff?
Literally the day before it went vertical.
So what do you think?
Oh, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
I'm so amazed. But if you haven't yet, make sure you go follow him, because he's currently doing the Six Flags 16 challenge, literally walking around the park for 40 days straight. That's exhausting, I'm sure.
5 miles around the park with 20 pounds on my back.
But also, great source for a daily update, just to let you know what's going on with Wonder Woman Flight of Courage. That's insane, though. Like, oh my gosh.
As we head back towards the tidal wave plot, you can see still looking incredible, especially with all those crisscrossings of track. It's just going to look insane when this ride is open. And here's probably the best look we can get of those finale airtime hills, as well as the mid-course brake run, and a lot of the support work that's eventually going to go up for the lift hill, as well as that zero-G roll. And I still can't believe how tall every single one of these elements really is. Maybe it's because of the difference in terrain compared to Jersey Devil Coaster, because a lot of that ride looks really low to the ground in comparison to this. But it does have me thinking, is it really only 131 feet tall? It almost seems like it could be taller than that. I mean, it is already the tallest single rail coaster in the world, but man, I don't know. Maybe it's just an illusion with how the terrain interacts with our views, but I gotta say, once this thing opens up and getting this crisscross between Riddler's Revenge especially and Wonder Woman, it is going to look just amazing. By the end of the day, they did add on the connector pieces on top of that turnaround section, by the way, which means realistically within the next couple of days we should start seeing some track start to go up there, or at least getting very close to there. And I'm sure once they finish off a section like that, they can go full force onto that lift hill and eventually topping this amazing ride off. Speaking of which, though, I'm curious, comment down below, when do you think they're going to finish that lift hill or top the ride off? Let me know down in those comments, though. I would love to see if anyone gets it right, but that will lead me back to In-Park Drew. So Drew, take it away.
So that's actually going to finish up our Wonder Woman Flight of Courage construction update. So much happening with this ride, especially since I haven't been here in like 2 months now. So excited to be able to ride this sometime this summer. But until then, we'll have more updates, and I cannot wait to see this thing eventually start testing once the track work is done. So enthralled to think that this is at my home Six Flags park. But with all that said, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. But until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.